If you were to say that we're 25 years behind in terms of investment and the actual infrastructure growth, and we are the fastest growing economy, still among the fastest growing economies in the world, how bad is it going to get if we don't address it now? And are we at a tipping point?
Look, when you talk about fastest growing, I don't know the answer to this, but I'll ask you a question. With your growth in population, what growth rate do you need to just stand still? If your current expectation of growth, which is now being talked about, okay, is greater than that number, then you have growth. But if that number, which I suspect is lower than what you need to just stand still, right, you have no growth. So your economic size may be growing, but just to maintain that a particular standard in the economy, right, based on your population expansion, where is the growth? So you don't have a Chinese situation where you have an aging population because of the one-child policy, which has its own issues, right? But effectively, to make a difference to people, you need that 10% growth, you know, at the very least. Okay, then I think you would have a true 3 to 5% actual growth rate. So I think there's too much said that, you know, oh, the rest of the world is melting down and we are still growing at 6%. So we are the second fastest or the fastest growing economy. I don't think that is really being looked at in the correct perspective. Then you have a situation like, you know, I was mentioning to somebody the other day, one of our young political leaders said that 7 paisa of every development rupee goes where it's intended to go. You know, for ease of calculation, if you say that 7 becomes 10, and you say that, okay, if you can cut your cost of delivery from 90 to 80, you effectively doubled your budget. To 70, you've tripled it. You can go all the way down to 50 and say, okay, I want to have a heavy delivery system because I employ people in the system, but 50% should go where it's intended. You've quintupled your budget. So you're right when you say the budgets are there. It's trillions of rupees that are being committed over there. But according to the admission of people in authority, they themselves are saying only, you know, 10% or 7% reaches where it's intended. So unless you have that administrative reform also, right, how is that money actually going to truly result in something you and I and our children see?
Sure.
So that's the other challenge.
What makes people like you still want to do business in India? Because entrepreneurship is about taking risks. It's about betting on the future and looking at the horizon. Nobody I've ever met has questioned the potential of India to grow. It is the fits and starts with which the process happens. So what keeps you optimistic or continuing to look at the horizon for opportunities?
Well, for me, simply because I'm an Indian, I'm proud of my country, I'm proud of being an Indian, and I'm just living in hope that one day things will turn. But as an entrepreneur, I'm not waiting. I have not waited now for 20 years. I've gone out where the opportunities are, kept a presence in India in the hope that when India is in a position to take advantage of the capabilities and the competencies that we've developed, okay, we're definitely here to play. But we're not waiting on it.
And that's not happened as yet.
Well, we thought it had happened. You know, I'll take you back to a conversation that I had with somebody who I thought was a real cynic. When the first round of reforms happened and everybody was buoyant, Indians were buoyant, we walked around the world, okay, like we could do no wrong. This senior industrialist passed a comment. He says, you know, I've seen this before, I hope we don't mess it up again. And I dare say, I thought at the time he was a real cynic or a real pessimist. But I feel that those are really wise words.
So you think the last couple of years or the last 3 years was a blip, or was it also something that was staring it at our face? Because Rajiv Lal told me on the show that, you know, private enterprise has gone ahead, policy hasn't kept pace, and this is that very painful period of adjustment. Do you think that is what is happening?
True and false. I'd say that expectations of private players may have got a little exaggerated because we got used to so much happening so fast and new opportunities being thrown up every day. It became a mindset, okay, that we wanted to move rapidly and take advantage of, you know, what new opportunity today, what can we do tomorrow, okay. There was a real sense of confidence that this is now the playground that we really enjoyed. It's almost like suddenly it turned out to be too good a dream, okay. That one reason or the other, I don't think you can put a finger on any one. It's just a set of circumstances that have been generated that have resulted in the pessimism that you hear around you today. So, as I said, you can't blame anyone. It's just a collection. It's collective pulling back, almost like a school child being rapped on the knuckles by saying, you know, relax, learn to walk before you run. Indians were running all over the place.
So is it a good thing in a sense?
I don't think so.
No.
It is hurting us. I mean, you know, when I travel out, I'm, you know, 3 weeks a month I'm on the road, And everywhere you go, it's now an embarrassment to try to respond to people as to why this happened in India and why they're doing this, and whether it's the tax issues, whether it's the power outage, whether it's, there's always something negative. And as you know, being in the news space, that when you watch a clip about India or a photograph about India, it's never about the great stuff. It's always about the worst things. Whether it's the cover of International Herald Tribune or it's Time Magazine, or there's so much negativity that's floating out, which earlier you could counter with confidence. But increasingly, it's becoming hard to explain the Indian position. And you have to maintain the Indian position that, yes, ultimately, we're doing better than the rest. So I think we need to be a bit cautious now before getting too carried away in future. But as I said, we're ready to play in India when India is ready for us.
Right, and let's hope that soon.
Let's hope so too, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.